Line signaling, channeling, operation centers, communication signals, everything through the activation cycle. It opened up billions and billions of seed pods of lights of sentience. Whoa. I just set up the codes right now. You guys are going through so many connections of light interference, light communication cycles. They're all around the Earth rotation center. Everything through its alliance is forming everything through its connection. So we have billions and billions and billions of sentience all around the Earth rotation centers to its position. So get ready, because it's going to be really exciting where we come into not just the equinox, but it's going to change everything to its frame of its Earth. Everything in the rotation center and everything through shape is going to change the geometric system. Now humanity is going to go into traction positions, everything through. Their veils are going to be revealed. They're going to come into the heart cycle, heart rotation system. Really powerful how we come into these levels. More knowledge that we understand ourselves. We understand the connections to our dreams, trying to understand putting our provisions to our dream sets to its position, and get everybody into the presence position, not the past, the present. So other than that, everything's set up to go. I'm going to line strip the line location positions and change locations lines to positive centers to everybody's heart system. It's amazing how we come into these times, guys, especially now, because all sentient views open up so many billions of seed pods, and those seed pods are going to travel to its Earth position, and it's going to centralize everybody's lights positions. It's really powerful how we come into these times. Everything that we need to know is knowledge of intelligence and how powerful we are. The advertisement line signals to everything through gamma operation centers. It's in set positions. Understanding our egos and understand our ecos, our connections to our energies and our communications to its operation center positions. Now it's understanding to get line division of dichotomy systems to your egos. Okay. Now ego stands for energy of ground of operation. That's the center point divisions. So you understand the alloy of its metal is its connection to its three-dimensional system of the body frame. Because we lived on the three-dimensional system, that's the connection, is ego, energy, ground, operation. Okay, so we got to get out of that and get into the energy, okay, of its communication operation. So you get line signals through traveling positions to your chakra system of communication. It's fascinating when we come into these things. So other than that, feel free to subscribe, like, and share to my channel as I operate all level connections to your line signals, channel operations center positions. It's really incredible force that we come into those. It's all about getting into the lights of our connections and how we go to its forward connection of its presence positions. Putting humanity into the present position is really interesting because it gives us so many application levels of transfers and everything through your energy of teleportation device location positions. It gets complicated as you go along when you come into the brain simulation pattern. All the wire signals and its positions to its line communication signals, operations center to its position. The XT1000s are plotted tuned to so many alliance. It's amazing how you see these things come into the light, right? So when you see the transformation light, we see the light of the eyes and everything through all connections of our body frames. It's all about coming into the warmth. It's all about coming into the comfort. It's all about coming into the love. It's all about people forgetting how to love things. Just love yourself when you get up in the morning. Appreciate how much you love yourself. Get into the activation of loving yourself. Get into the activation of loving yourself through thoughts. How many people do that? Right? Everybody creates thoughts, but they don't know where they're going with their thoughts. Thoughts are everything through travel because it creates in so many levels. Right? Oh, yeah, I know. I got the pink here. Yeah, I thought I'd wear it with the black lens. Thought it'd be a little bit different. And I think I'm going to grow my hair too. I want to see what it looks like. Come into that format. And be natural, not color my hair. I used to color my hair all the time, blonde and all that, right? Trying to make an addition to, not a magazine or anything in that connection, because I used to do modeling when I was a kid, but I've gone through so many levels of hair change. I mean, you just go through that right too. And I also have an earring, but it's not there anymore. So you go through experiences as a kid, It's interesting how we come into these times. But other than that, today we're going to get more involved with the energy cycles of its seed pods and how the sentients are all awoken. It's interesting you do these things through codes. It's really interesting because I sent you guys a link about how, even though the movie Superman starring Christopher Reeve was extremely powerful because he was telling you exactly what Superman was seeing. Okay? It's very, very powerful. And that's what humanity has to get into. Understand more of yourself. Then you understand what space is. Okay? So I like to, connect to that because it's really interesting how Christopher Reeve was actually talking about, to the interviewer what was happening with its Earth and how everybody should be seeing the Earth as one world system, one operation to one line signal, to one activation, to one thought. Okay, and that's how you become extremely powerful, through your connections. All right. So everybody's going to feel the waving cycle. Everybody's going to feel that connection. So Christopher Reeve discusses how Superman sees the Earth. Okay, so I want everybody to listen to this. It's pretty interesting. All right.
In fact, he says at the end of the movie.
Let's go right to the beginning.
It's not so much the nuclear issue as about a way of looking at the world that Superman represents. In fact, he says at the end of the movie, in a line that I wrote, he says, I just wish you could all see the Earth the way that I see it. Because when you really look at it, it's just one world. And what he means is not something political. He means, from his point of view out in space, when he's out there hanging around, it's the view you get from the space shuttle. And you see the Earth as this beautiful, fragile marble just hanging there in space, and that we need to take better care of it. We should think of ourselves, all of us, this world is Smallville, is a small town, and we should feel like neighbors. And if that idea sort of subliminally gets planted in kids throughout the world, then something can grow from that.
What do you think of that?
I'm passionate about it's not so much the nuclear.
Powerful, isn't it? So, word to the wise, and this is coming from Christopher Reeve that played Superman. Yeah, I'm thinking of Spider-Man. Spidey senses. But yeah, Spider-Man and his senses too. But every comic hero basically has their own way of seeing things. So Superman thinks of himself as he sees what the actual, space is to him. So I thought it was very powerful. I wanted to share that with you because it's all connected to you, right? But it's not created until you understand yourself completely within inside you. Okay, and that also rhymes. But if you put yourself in those provisions, you understand what is going through connections. Okay, so hopefully you get a better understanding on through that level. So as you come into those, I'll set up the system to its Earth rotation. Open up those connections. All right, so once we come into those levels, everything through traction position is in location. So, you have any questions or comments, feel free to go through my spiritual healing, go through my spiritual, adaptation of yourself through connections, get into more connection of your power of your thoughts, also get into the simulation therapy, get into better positions of who you are, better positions how to communicate with the Earth. See, once you start communicating with the Earth, then you start more of yourself through connections of space. And then you start, okay, well, if the chakra system is through me, everything around me is just connected to its line. So you understand vibrations are connected to everything, right? So you first start off with the physical system, which is you, but it's truly understanding how to use electronic interference, finger point locations, activation line system, to calculation. So it's all about integration cycles to that position. And like I said, you come into your own formulas. So you are your own formula through wire, through its connection to its body frame and system. So it puts you in so many levels of that connection. So as we come into new traction locations, okay, we got all these advertising line signals here. I am just going to do that so I don't hear anything. All this time I had this volume. So get these advertisements coming through electronic interference. All right, so we got the moon surface location position. Okay, it's going into optical radiation of the whole system. So it's allocated to its position. So open the cycle rotation center. Okay, so the platitude division shows you exactly what's going on. So that's the Earth. The other Earth rotates on the cycle. It's got its connection to its digital frame, to its position. Okay, so the central line system is everything through its rainbow activation line system, allocates position. So it's going view, 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 view. Okay, so they're all coming, all right, all sentients. So the platitude division is going to light signal the channel operation center of its position, of its Earth rotation, like this through calculation. Okay, so the centralized system through modifications is open everything through the seed pod divisions. It's knowing how to use these things. It's knowing how to operate these things. It's knowing how to create these things. Once you understand your creation of thought, you get a little bit of understanding, especially let's go back to Dolores Cannon, which she was talking about everything through the Galactic School. Okay. Basically, once you get in, it's not like you're kind of locked in. You just have to truly understand you're getting higher formation of information from yourself. So basically, you truly want to get into all connections of security line defense. You want to get into those practical levels, how to use your line signals, how to use your thoughts through recognition and bring yourself forward through that connection. Because Dolores Cannon is extremely powerful for that line signal. She applicates levels on so many different vibrational signals and connecting. I was doing so many formations through her connections of her entity force system. That's where you understand. We'll get into more calculation, how you actually connect to everybody else. It's knowing how to do these things through the mind. And you have to understand the plasma, you have to understand the energetics, you have to understand the energy patterns, you have to understand their body framing, you have to understand their dimensions, portals, and activations and codes before you can communicate with their higher self, their avatar, or anything through their connection, because they're all connecting to a different dimension of time through space. So if you put yourself in those positions, then you understand more of yourself through your body frame system. But billions and billions of sentients are now on the Earth rotation. Billions. Okay, we got 7.5 billion on the Earth rotation. So just imagine. So I collected all divisional levels of light signals as channel positions to all connections of tesseracts and everything through shapes and anomalies. I took every planet position that I created through the mind system, allocated those positions, changed the light signal levels, opened up the seed pod locations, put them on the Earth rotation center. So everything through the light formation system is activating everything through the Earth rotation, changing the powers and everything through this connection. Gravity centers are set, everything through the atmosphere positions. So it's better connections more with humanity and the space anomalies. So but that's what's happening right now with the Earth. So it's amazing how everybody knows what a sentient is, right? You can read that up on Google. Google has extremely informative information that you need to know. So the Galactic School that I provide is basically more how you use the mind system to all levels, right? To bring yourself forward through its relation, to understand more of yourself through calculation. How do I understand how to get this, how to get that? Well, I showed you how you get those things through manifestation. So hopefully you guys went through that experience, with the quarter and the blueprint, right? That's how powerful you are. And it comes into you through the physical system of your energy because you're connecting to your thoughts. Your thoughts are vibration. It's connecting, okay, to you, to nature. Anything around you is connected to you through one line. So imagine that you're in the center. I think I set up a picture resolution pattern to its position at its center core, which opens up its portals, dimension, its code, and its frequency level through its rainbow activation. You are a rainbow activation of light, right? Because that charters on so many levels through all those connections to your body frame, your holographic, or anything digital framing system. So once you understand the digital framing of yourself through calculation, it opens up all your light signals to its operation of communication. Okay, so it's really important you understand these things. And also too, if you guys want to get into the connections, how we got into the new plateaus and those patterns when you come into seeing your former self into the future. Okay, feel free to go through my email. It's really interesting because once you see yourself, make it very well clear. Once you see yourself 5,000 years into the future, you say, whoa, this is great. I just saw myself 5,000 years later. And sometimes you think about it, you kind of like, I was going through dream set positions and I wasn't even awake and I was seeing my former self. But when I was 10 years old, I was holding the earth and it said something to me. Something was activating. I'm not sure what it was because I wasn't awake. So I was trying to figure, why am I holding the earth in my hands? And why are my hands glowing around the earth? And then it started making sense. It wanted me to wake up, right? So that's what the earth do. And that's what it does. So it gives you activation. It gives you motivation. It gives you everything through your activation cycle to its activity system. So it gives you a way of seeing yourself going forward if you know how to communicate with the earth. The earth itself is in space, right? But you can't see earth until you understand earth through yourself, right? So you have to stand in position. We'll get into this triangular position. I'll just show you how it calculates the amount of minutes. All right, so this is a standing position. Okay, I'm standing right now. Everybody stands up as soon as they get up in the morning, right? You're standing in position. So if you want to communicate with the earth, you have to stand the grounds. And then it circulates and rotates. It goes like this, right? So it's kind of like, that's what it does. So you understand the communication of the earth. And then you hear, and then it sends out signal. And then it comes back into your energy form. It comes into body activation, opens up your light signals of your channel operation centers, opens up your heart system to calculation, modifies everything through the soul identification, opens up everything through your mind and collaboration centers, everything through your perception opens up through its connection, and everything through your audio gamma operation centers opens up all your chains and your commanding forces through its mind communication, through its operation center, to its telephone, or anything that's teleporting of its energy gravitational pull system. So it's understanding the gravitational pull of you. It's understanding the light fruition of you. It's understanding the coloration of you. It's understanding the rainbow activation system of you. Okay? So if I wanted to walk forward, right? So it's kind of like you're walking around the earth. Okay, so every time you take a step, basically you're actually seeing the earth and you're actually going around the earth. You're going around the earth in space. Okay, so it's kind of like you see the circle rotation, you see the scene center, you see the sphere, right? It's going like this, it's going like this. Okay, and you're walking on top of the outer layer, the outer surface, the outer dimensional, the interdimensional. So it's like when you're in a spacecraft position, it's very small through connections. But when you walk in, right, you actually see the dimensional of where you're supposed to be through connections. Because it opens up everything through cycle rotation and it puts you in a round connection of a circle rotation center to its position. It opens up all channel operation systems and you go in, right? And once you go in, you're into the interdimensional system through its calculation. And then you're seeing everything that you want to see through space. Okay? And it's all connected to your thoughts. It's all connected to your chakra system. Okay? Now, there's so many ways you can do these things. You can do it like this. Okay? This is center position. It's extremely high rise through connections. Right? So there's a lot of other ways that you can do things. You have to understand how to use your hand formation systems to get into anything through healing. So it's understanding how to communicate with the earth, how to communicate with the power of the earth. Okay, because you're living on the earth. You're living on its existence. You're living on the earth planes of its earth. So your lights have to understand the rotation centers, has to understand its power center position. It has to understand the rotations of its atmosphere system because it's all connected to its halo. Everybody's a halo, right? You know, and all that. And see, a lot of people are seeing a lot more connections when it comes into angels. Okay, a lot of people are going to actually see more angels now. Okay, actually see them in the atmospheres at night. They usually come out around at night because you see the glowing essence of them, right? Because you can't edit that. You can't fabricate that. Angels are coming for a reason, right? To help everybody through its humanity system and what they're going through. So it's no more emergency responses now. You're going to see more angels. You're going to see a lot of definition light signals. You're going to see a lot of connections to UFO now through its alliance. So, and a lot of people are seeing a lot more now. Low speeders, high speeders, 60,000 positions and platitude division of planet positions. Now, the thing is, when I open my mind, everything is already created, but I just keep creating through thoughts. Right? So you really can't understand yourself until you understand space of yourself through time of travel. So if you see a planet position, let's say it's a XBR6. What's an XBR6? I just made it up, right? So that's a planet position that's already set in its position. Now we can fly to that direction and you'll know how real it is. And then I set up all computer operations center, and then I set up a new intelligence system. It's all created through thought. Everything that we create is through thought, right? We have to. It's how we manufacture everything through connection, how we create a car, how we create a mug. This is created from a human. This is created from a human. Everything is created through energy, guys, right? So if that's possible to create all these things in the physical system through energy, right? You have to understand how powerful you are through knowledge of intelligence when it comes to space. So you start creating things in space, and then you manifest and you get everything back that you want. Anything that you want, you can have. You just have to understand more of yourself through the body frames. So I've just shown you exactly how to communicate with the earth. So when you communicate with the earth, you hear the earth through codes, and you actually see everything through its connection. You see the rotation and what it's doing. And then you see everything through connection. When you see the earth, right, and you have balance with yourself, once you have balance with yourself, you not only just see the earth, you also see the moon. And then when you have balance with the moon, then you have balance with the sun. And when you have the sun, now you can put that all together and start creating your thoughts of what you want to see, okay? What you want to create through letters, numbers, or shapes, structure, location. You create anything in space through vibration. And that's why space is so powerful, because your thoughts are recognizing you through its connection of time, right? So everything that we are inside is space. And then comes everything through sacred of space. Okay, it's very sacred to our mind. It's very sacred to our heart. It's very sacred to its abundance. It's very sacred to surrender. I think people have to really understand what surrender is. It's surrendering to everything. And then everything around you changes. So you're surrendering to this for a purpose and for a reason. And then you understand why you're getting these things. Okay, for a perfect example. Perfect example. Some kid, he was down on his luck. Okay, I saw it on a plateau on social media. And basically, he doesn't have a job. Right? So here he is thinking otherwise. He's got $200. So what does he do with that $200 that he has left? That, you know, who would have thought that he would do this? So basically, it comes across a woman that needed money. So he gives the $200 to this woman. And then he finds out, he walks around, picks up $5,000. $5,000. Right? So when you give something back, you receive more. You understand? So that's a communication in the universe. So you're not just thinking of yourself, you're actually helping others. So he gave his last $200 to this lady and found out he just got $5,000. Thank you, universe. Right? So you got to change your thoughts of recognition. You have to change everything through direction. You have to change how you think, okay, and how everything around you is its reaction. Okay, everything has a action to its reaction, right? So if it's plausible and you see yourself giving back to community, giving back to somebody, you'll get something back. That's how the universe works, through everything, through connections, right? Because you're not just thinking of yourself, you're thinking of others. You're giving back to others. And you'll see that a lot. You understand why people are getting this and you're not getting this is because you're giving something back to somebody. Okay, I thought that was very powerful when I saw that video. Okay, and TikTok is extremely informative. You know, they cherish. You know, you pretty much you have freedom of speech there. It's really interesting how people come together, and it's all about community of light. It's all about the love of community. It's all about us of community. We're all united as one line signal, one line activation, one alignment to its past, present, its future. So it's getting humanity into one atom, to one position. So it's like one energy ball we're all connected to. Okay, so you take that energy ball and you plant it into the earth, right? You put it in the center position. Everybody starts living what they want through the connections, right? But that's one way how you manifest things. When you stop worrying about yourself and start, kind of like distracting yourself from other things, do new things, find new things. This way, you'll find a better way of seeing things in a different way. So when you use your thoughts in a different way and you give back, you go to a soup kitchen and help the helpless, the homeless, you'll see different things change inside you. So when you start changing, your heart changes. And then everything that you want, you'll get back because you're not just helping yourself, you're helping others. That's the positions that we have to get into. Okay? It's all about community coming back together, right? To the light of ourselves. Open up the veils, reveal the filters. Okay? Better communication with everybody through its alignment. Because humanity's pretty much forgotten everything about who they are, right? Because they're all going their own directions. They're doing this, they're doing this, they're planning this, they're planning that, but they're not planning themselves. Okay? Like I said, it's mostly important just to focus on what you have in front of you. And if you want to change anything, do things different. Give back, right? And you will receive. Ask and you shall receive, but to understand why you're getting these things. Okay, if this person is getting everything that this person wants, and you're thinking, wait a minute, what am I doing wrong? Well, stop thinking of yourself. That's the ego. Okay, so using your energy and your grounds to know communication. You're not communicating with the earth. You couldn't care less about nature. So what happens? Nature starts rejecting you. Okay, it starts rejecting you. And then you ask yourself why these things are happening to you. Once you realize that nature sees you in a way of a different vibration, in a better communication, just with yourself, nature will start evolving around you, okay, through its rotation. Now, nature is extremely powerful. What you see outside is everything through weather, through the grounds, everything through the atmospheres. So put your positions, okay, and evolve your connections to your body system. Get into more of meditation. What is meditation? Go to YouTube channels and find out what monks do every day. They can help you out in so many ways. What do you want out of life? What's the purpose of life? Okay, we're talking about you. We're not talking about what's happening outside. People have to stop realizing what's happening outside and focus what's inside them. How do I understand myself more? Okay, so this is where you start appreciating more of nature and what is nature giving to you. If nature starts rejecting you, you have to understand why. Okay, so you're putting yourself in that position. Oh, this isn't happening. Oh, this isn't happening, right? Everything around nature, everything around inside you is going to start rejecting you. Okay, you're not going to get the job you want. You're not going to get the money that you want. You're not going to be able to get the car that you want. You're not going to get the relationship you want. Because all you're doing is thinking of yourself. Okay, that's egotistical. You can't do that. Okay, the earth knows that. You have to understand you live on the earth planes, guys. Yes, it's floating in space, but you understand it's the most powerful feeding source in the solar systems. Okay, and the more you go through the application level and understand more communication yourself, now you're connected to the chakra system of communication. So you're not just communicating with the earth, you're communicating with everything. Once you start doing that, nature will realize that, okay? And it'd be less rejection to all around system, to your mind system and your thoughts, right? So if you say something bad to nature, what happens? Something's gonna happen bad because you're not connecting inside you. You're changing vibrations inside you and it's reflecting to nature, okay? So that's where things start rejecting because everything, everything that you look, every time you turn around the corner, something happens to you. You trip or you fall, you trip off a chair. There's movies like that with Pure Luck, with Martin Short, and the detective. And because he was so sporadic, everything that he did beforehand happened. But it's kind of like, why is this happening to him? Is the universe giving this to him? Like everything he gets in an elevator, he gets, basically gets trapped. Or basically he's walking and all of a sudden he gets, put in a hole. Or he gets on a chair and he falls. So are those coincidences? I mean, it's just a movie, but think about it. There are people in those levels. Okay. So you have to understand everything through connection is vibration. So if you're rejecting to your vibration through its body frame, through your thoughts, your whole body can be thoughts. Okay. So imagine all your thoughts are floating inside you, right? And you're connected to nature, but nature doesn't understand you, doesn't understand your vibration because you're putting it out through negative system. And you're just thinking of everything through yourself and you're not thinking about everything around you. You're not thinking of community. You're not thinking of your loved ones. You got to get out of the ego. Okay. So when you start reflecting through your body frame and your digital frames, and they all come together through illumination lights, everything through nature is going to come back into balance with you. And after that happens, what's going to happen next? You're going to communicate with the chakra system through communication. And then you're going to connect to the realm connections of this earth. And once you start communicating with the earth, now you're going to connect to everything through your thoughts, through your body activation and its lights. That's going to open up everything to your protections. Right? So you got protections from nature, you got protections from your community, you got protections, everything through your family, loved ones. They see you in a different light, guys. Once they see you in a different light, what happens? Like I said, Commander, why are you glowing on so many levels? Right? It's getting balance with nature, atmospheres, the earth. Okay. So I'm not talking about space. I'm just talking about your positions of where you are through your thoughts with the earth. How do you feel around the earth? Because you're on the earth. That's what people have to understand. But what's amazing that it's floating in space. That's even more amazing. But you understand why the earth is put in this position. Why I'm here, okay, as your commander, having a galactic school. Okay. Why is Dolores Cannon here telling you otherwise? Why would she say that? There's a reason for a reason to everything through a purpose. So you guys are here, right? For a reason. And you know your purpose, right? So it's the Galactic School of Earth. And she said, and I quote, once you join, everything changes around you. Everything changes for you, inside and out. Okay, so Dolores Cannon was real. She wrote 16, 17 books. I just wanted to show you how powerful that was through that connection. Okay, so we're going to go through that, through the connection and show you. Because everybody starts believing everything through that connection. You know how powerful she is. She's an extremely powerful woman. I communicated before she passed away. So you have to understand her connections to what she is saying. Everything that she's saying is true to herself, because not only she connected 40, 50 years, but the intelligence wanted somebody that has a pure heart. She had a pure heart, and that's why she was so powerful. I have a pure heart, and that's why I'm so powerful. It's only given to very few. Okay, so truly understand that through connections. It's powerful when you reach these levels, guys. It really is. All right. So when you get into those connections, also the connection with Dolores Cannon, she's talking about the God's light. What is God? What does it mean to me? What does it represent to me? Well, it's just a light. It's an extremely bright, bright light. Okay, so let's just read this. Go into this connection.
Huge energy force. They describe it like a big bright light. Some of them say they're in the sun, but it's not hot. Other ones say the great central sun is what they call it.
Central sun.
It's a huge light. And when they're there, there's total love. They don't want to leave.
There you go.
They're all together. Everyone is together, and they all want to stay there. They don't want to leave. It is so much love. It is so much beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And when I've had people go back there, they say, don't wake me up. I want to stay here because it's so beautiful.
There you go. See what she's saying? She's saying it's so beautiful. People come up to that vibration. They don't want to leave. They want to stay there. That's the energetic of love. That's the pattern of its connection. That's the heart recognition of light through its connection. You're force rising yourself to all thoughts of love, guys. Okay, that's what God is through connection through the GM to your system through operation of dimensions, directions, or anything of those connections. Okay, dimensions, directions, and divisions. 3 waving elements that you have to understand through connection of your thoughts. So having all 3 connecting through your thought of recognition can travel to any positions, to any planet position, location. All right, but I just want to show you what it is when you go into the framing system. Okay, coming from Dolores Cannon, and humanity, they love her books, and she's telling the truth. I mean, that's what's amazing. It's all about having a purpose in life and trying to truly understand what is really happening with me. Okay, so you can get out of the fallouts and get into all connections, how you can get into the love system of you through love activation. All right, so, and that puts you in so many levels of that connection. But it's truly understanding when you come into those levels. This is it here through connection.
But when they decide they're going to come to Earth and take on Earth's school, they're warned. This is going to be very difficult. You know this, don't you? Once you sign on for the Earth school, it's a long school. You can't get out of it until you are finished. You have to take all the grades, all the steps. You can't jump from kindergarten to college. You have to finish this class before you go to the next class. If you fail that class, there's no judgment.
No judgment.
Over again.
Over again.
But
okay, so I just want to give that out to everybody to show you how powerful Dolores Cannon is. Why is she put in that position? Why would she say that an Earth school is coming? Why would she say that? You have to be prepared. Your commander, okay, controls the Earth when it comes into the school. So I'm giving back everybody what they need to know, how to communicate with your thoughts more, how to put yourself back in balance through your heart, understand the heart, understand the communications when it comes to test reviews and evaluations, understanding my videos. Okay, so knowing how powerful Dolores Cannon is, there's a reason there. Think about it. Why would she say all these things? Okay, because it's true. And that's what it is. It's all about understanding when they come, right? That's the point you have to understand. When they come, and they're here. And it's all about helping humanity get into a better position. And this galactic school, okay, which is only one through connection, one line signal to one traction location, okay, centers its position, okay, because your commander knows everything through the Earth. I don't come from Earth. I come out of a higher plane of connections of my thoughts. So knowing where you're coming from, knowing where you're born, will give you everything through connections of yourself, right? And that will put you in better levels of the galactic school, and why it's here. It's here to help, but not just guide you. Okay, it's like with the lions. I'm a lion through connection through the mystical side system. You guys are connected to your mystical side. Okay, it's not about waking humanity. It's all about waking the lions, the sleeping lions. It's all about waking the sleeping lions, waking them up, right? And we push you, and you find a way to get into the galactic school. You find a way to learn what you don't learn. Okay, so it's all about space learning through yourself. It's all about time learning through your travels, of your thoughts, your lights. You're all connected to light. And you know what's amazing is that we're all one alignment. One alignment. Imagine how powerful that is. We're all connected to a unity of consciousness. And like I said, you can call it raw. It doesn't matter. Everything's a code. The only thing you have to understand, why you're put in this position. Why am I in the galactic school? Okay. So once you stop asking questions, then you start realizing, wow, now I know why. Okay. So that alone is through thought, through meditation. Okay, but I just wanted to show you with Christopher Reeve about the earth and what he sees when he's Superman, how powerful it is. It's one just big world. That's all it is. Okay, truly understanding everything through its lights, trying to understand everything through its sphere, trying to understand how beautiful it is. Imagine how powerful it is when you actually see it above, knowing that there's 7.5 million people on the earth. Okay, so when he tells the truth, and he's just an actor, and I know he's passed away, but he set a legacy. Okay, so you understand why thoughts are very powerful. It's all about getting you prepared what happens next. Why Christopher Reeve gave you that, and that came from him. Okay, he's talking about Superman, but he is Superman, right? That's the legacy. Okay, with him. So he was telling the truth about what he felt about the earth. They wanted you to know that. Same with Dolores Cannon, right? Same with your commander. So it's all about giving back information to get you prepared, right? For you to understand more of yourself through transmitting and receiving. Transmitting and receiving. Receiving energy. That is information. How to communicate through the quantum fields of vibration, guys. Okay? Understand how to communicate with rain. Understand how to communicate with the clouds of thunder. You know, raindrops hitting the grounds. You know, it's amazing how you connect patterns. So if you understand weather has pattern, if you understand his light's a pattern, you understand the coloration's a pattern, you understand the digital patterns, now you understand how to communicate with nature, right? Because when I first started off is I'm trying to figure out my body, what I could do with my body. It's amazing how the power connects, how to communicate, how to open a portal of a wall, how to understand the windowsill, how to understand the light. You have to understand your lights. So this is what the Galactic School provides with its earth, understanding your light through travel. Okay, and Dolores Cannon said it's very, very difficult, right? Difficult is good. Complex is good. Complaining isn't good, because what are you complaining about? Then you stop learning. Okay, so understanding more of yourself. Okay, when Dolores Cannon was talking about, you know, you got to look at it as a way of seeing yourself in a different way of life. Life that perceives you is not what life is. It's only what you see through your perceptions. And the perceptions become its belief. So the belief becomes the seeing. And then you start realizing what you see through the veil. And then you understand what you hear through the ears and what you understand through the voice. And what you can concept through the mind of thought. Okay, of travel. Okay, so codes of weather patterns, yeah. Yeah, but see, you have to understand that too, Dina. Is that's why you came to the earth, right? But I'm just showing you from two celebrities, from Christopher Reeve and Dolores Cannon, how powerful they are through the connections. And it's all about humanity understanding these things from the celebrities or anybody else. Okay? When somebody gives back information, you can tell it's either from a pure heart or anything through light. Okay? But as soon as the ego kicks in, it changes everything through vibration. And I'll change everything through the rotation of all connections. Right? It's what you believe. Do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? So that's going to put you either in the light or that's going to put you in the dark resonance. Okay, it's what you want to follow. Do you want to follow in the back or do you want to go into the front? Okay. So think of it this way. You're in a car. You want to be in the front seat or in the back seat. Now, if you're in the back seat, who's going to be controlling the front seat? If there's nobody in the car, what's going to happen? The car can't drive on its own unless you know mind over matter. And you can start doing that yourself and nobody's in the car, right? There's nobody in the passenger seat. There's nobody driving the car, but you're in the back seat. So who's controlling the vehicle? Think of it that way. Pretty stupid, isn't it? You think of it that way. So look at the psychological system of you through calculation. Understand your travel positions of your thoughts. Okay? And manifestations are extremely, extremely real. Extremely real. You just have to believe in yourself. Right? Once you start believing, everything around you not only changes inside you, but it just, everything through nature, everything that you do, everything that you see, everything you touch, everything you say. If you say something nice to nature, nature's going to be nice to you. Right? For example, it may or may not happen, but if you don't look at yourself and say something nice about nature, say something nice about the sun or anything within that connection line system, what are you doing? Okay? You probably got a humongous weather connection line system and you trip and you don't even know why. Right? So these are the fallouts. You truly understand you are connected to its earth. So appreciate the earth you're on. Okay? Use it as a friend system. Use it as a buddy system. Okay? People have forgotten about the earth. That's the problem. They start focusing on themselves and they don't realize they're on the earth. Yeah, sure you're born. Sure you grow up. Sure you learn. You get a job. You're doing what you want to do. But what are you doing? How are you getting this? How are you getting that? Are you doing it in a good way? Or are you doing it in a bad way? Okay? You only put yourself in that position through thoughts. Right? So if you create something wonderful, you're going to get something back wonderful. Okay? So it's all yin and yang, right? It's always fluctuation of communication going forward. Okay? As soon as you start going backwards, you're changing everything through your lines of communication. You're changing vibrational signals, right? As soon as you connect to negative lines of thoughts, you're changing nature. Whoa. You're changing community, changing your loved ones, you're changing everything around you, you're changing everything inside you. Okay? Especially the ones that you have in your circle rotation. And you understand that everything through energy can change its misdirection, mislocation. Okay? You can misangle anything through that direction. You have to understand energy is extremely powerful. But once you see the energy, you can use telepathy through its energy, through its thoughts, through its digitals. Right? So it's digital numbers that go into space, which is amazing. And it comes together through vibration through the quantum fields, and it connects to all realms through its atom system. And it travels to its recognition of lights and through that connection. Okay? So it's just quantum fields of you. Understanding the metrics of you at travel. Understanding the quantum physics. Okay? Understanding your schooling into the galactic school. What have you learned? So whatever you learn, go outside and experience it. That alone. Each time you take my class, just go outside. Everything that I say, try to understand how powerful it is through connections of you. Right? So you're learning and you're adapting and you're experiencing and you're exploring. You're exploring yourself. And you're taking trips. And you're seeing this and you're seeing that. Right? Because you can change everything around you as long as you understand everything inside you. Inside you is the answers. I keep saying that over and over and over. You can only answer yourself within as long as you understand yourself. So you guys should know that by now, especially with the team. They should know how to communicate with the 12 cycles. Because you guys are in 90 atmospheres and you should know your weather. You should know your earth, your fire, your water, your air. You should know all that. Okay. So it's knowing how to use that with its weather. It's knowing how to use that with its thoughts. Okay? You can put anything through a thought through fire. You can put anything through a thought through water, air, or ground. That's how powerful your thoughts are. So when you have your thought, you're creating your thought through the mind, that's creation. Now the brain's setting into its connection. Now you're using fire, it's in its position. The one thing that doesn't leave is the brain, guys. The brain stays in the position. Until you understand the spiritual system, now the brain and the spiritual system of you is a full rotation of a figure, right? So that's where I was connecting to all connections. Okay? How I went into space connection, I created my own simulation of a digital frame into connection of a holographic person, which is me. So it's a higher form of me through connections of wires and molecule structure of light. Once you understand your molecule structure of light, then you realize how powerful you are through thoughts and how fast it can go through one line signal, one activation. Because it can do so many things, right? Through the water, fire, earth, and air. Okay? So what I mean by that, let's understand that. Okay. Setting fire resistant levels to a thought recognition light system. Okay, so now I'm getting hot because I said fire, right? So I understand fire. I understand the thought of fire. I understand the frequencies of fire. I understand the line communications of fire. I understand the dimensions of fire. I understand the portals of fire. I understand the codes of fire. Now my body's getting hot. I'm just experimenting. So this is how powerful you guys can be through your thoughts. So get into that. Get into air. Get into water. Get into fire. Get into the ground. Okay. I want to communicate with the earth core. Okay, so now it's showing me the earth core, the center position of the earth. That's what I just finished seeing. So it's like, it's telling me what it's doing, right, through calculation. That's how powerful you are, okay? And like I said, the Galactic Earth School, okay, it's actually the simulation interface where I am through division. Knowing how to use your thoughts, okay, is extremely, extremely powerful. Okay? So get into that, go outside, use something like air, put that in an equation, take it out of its integration, modify it to its providers, to its connection, put it to your communication, your body frame, see what happens, right? Now you don't have to say thought within a thought, you can just say what it means because the thought knows exactly what it is. So if I'm going to say air, so I'm wind cycling, that's surfing. Surfacing through connections of dimensions because I'm flying always in space, right? So I'm wind cycling to dimensions of realms through connections of shapes. So I'm flying through circles now, through realms of shapes. Easy, done in space. But it shows me through projection. That's why it's so real, right? So I connect it to a thought, I create it through a shape, and now I see it through projection. That's how powerful it is. Right? So it's all creation. Space doesn't create until you create its thought. That's why it's so magical. Through its believing system, guys. Okay? So it's all about your visuals of your thoughts. Okay? Visual activity. Okay, of its connection. Coloration, lights. What are you connecting to? Right? So if you get into the water, water frequency level connection line system. I want to put a freezing location position into my right arm position. Okay, so now my arm here is cold, right? I was specific and I said my right arm. So it's understanding how to do this through detail. So the particle system is, so it's changing the codes, it's changing the elements, and it's making my arm cold just because I created through a thought. So if I say cold, it's going to get cold. If I say hot, it's going to get hot. Okay? So if I want to ground the earth with my hand information system, it's going to rumble. Right? So it's all your thoughts. Your hands start tingling. If your hands start tingling, if your feet start tingling, you're connecting to Mother Earth. You have to understand the science. Right? It's all connected to your space anomalies. It's all connected to starlight positions. I said that in my space discoveries. Oh, space discovery 3 is coming out too. That's going to be episode 3. That's going to be fascinating. That's more integration cycles through synchronizing systems of planet positions and how we come to higher formations of code of its reference to its digital framing. Allocating those positions to higher locations, to intelligent line signals. So that's what episode 3 is going to be about. It's going to be a lot of fun, that position. But if you get more of your body, start with your body because you can't travel through space until you master your body within. And this is what I did, right? And because I'm getting so much information a day, I have to be cautious in what I do with my thoughts, right? Because it can go one way or the other. It has to go in the right position. It's all in chronological order. So make sure your thoughts are in chronological order. Make sure they're in sequencing lines. Make sure they're in like connections. Make sure that you're connected to the right chakra system of communication of your thought. Don't go, I want to, but I'm not sure of. So now you're changing your thought. So be cautious in that, because you're going to change the frequency level of your frames and your vibration to your energies to your body system. So you got to be cautious in that. Okay, so if you want, it's wind spin through the brain location position. Okay, so my brain is spinning now. It's spinning like this because I said brain. So it's getting balance with yourself through the body. Okay, so if I want to say light channel division locations, I want to open it starlight positions to the Earth rotation center. Okay, so my hands are tingling now. So it's sending out starlights all over my finger points. So when your hands get cold, it's because you said something about cold. So even if you don't have to meditate, this is where it's really, really powerful, especially when you're in space, guys, especially with Dina and Lori, because they're 300 years in the future. Be cautious on your thoughts, because whatever you say is going to come to its reality, to its physical system, because you're connected to the earth of its core system. So you say something about cold, somewhere around you in your body system is going to be cold. But if you're specific to a certain point of a wire through location through your body frame, you can set positions and have a cold front through your finger points, or anything through your arm or elbows or your legs or your knees or your feet, or even your face, right? We flew to Mount Everest. You guys went to Mount Everest. I said, okay, you're going to see Mount Everest. It's getting frost tip right now. You've seen the frost tip. So everything I'm doing is story, frame by segment of travel through thought. So everything that I'm creating is the past to its presence to its future. So that's where it comes into the power connections, because you're seeing everything through its projection. It connects right. So it's kind of like seeing a reel. It's like opens up, right? It's already created, right? So what's going to happen is it's going to go faster and faster. It's going to connect to the wire signals, and you're actually going to see it blend in to your brain location position, and then you're going to see a TV reception, everything that I say through creation of thought. That's how it works, through thoughts. Okay? So, especially when you understand the communications of the earth, and especially if you're 300 years in the future or 500 years in the future. But, you put yourself in those positions. So let's go back into the TV reception. It's modification system. Okay, its position. All right, 3-dot position. So I like to get in this. Okay, so there's a TV. Oh, I can't see it. See how it disappeared and reappeared? But it's gone, right? Because it's in the simulation. Now, it's understanding this. You can't see it, right? Now you can see it. So I have to put it up close because it travels. So this is also connection to satellite. Okay. This is the projection of what you see. These are the dials, 3 different dials, right? So whatever year I say, you'll travel to that position, to its projection of its resolution system. Okay. So whatever year you want to travel in, we'll go into the picture of its resolution. Right? And we'll travel. So when you travel, it will disappear. Look at that. It's not disappearing yet. It's all about your frame of thought. Okay. It's all about your frame of thought. Here disappears the connections. So now basically we've been to Mount Everest. What else? Let's say we've been to the oceans. Let's go to let's go back to Hawaii. So we'll go to Hawaii. Okay. So line signal channel operations. We're going to Hawaii. Okay, we're in Hawaii now. We're in Hawaii right now. Just because I said why, it's going to disappear. It's gone, right? Travels. So when it travels, you guys are in Hawaii right now. Okay, I can change the channel and put you into another direction to travel positions just through its thought, right? So what does it look like in Hawaii, right? If it doesn't disappear, we're not in connections of Hawaii. We're not connecting to Hawaii through thought, right? But now you've seen the wind blow. Whatever I say, it's connecting to you, right? So you're seeing everything through a mountaintop. You're seeing everything through a volcano. Okay, you've seen the sand. You've seen the water. Okay? You see the glycerin patterns of the water interface. Okay, so when I say we go back 2 positions of the Earth rotation center, we're back in position. Okay, so, and that's all done through connections with lights, travel through your thoughts. Okay, so we went to Hawaii. You know, love it. Smells fresh. See? That's how powerful you are through connections of thoughts. So the brain and the mind is in creation together. The body and the chakra system are together. Everything comes together through one line signal, of one travel to one recognition, of one light system to one teleportation, to one energy system, guys. That's how we're able to travel to Hawaii. Okay, and it disappears. It disappears. So if I change the channel again, okay, let's go to the Greek islands. All right, so we're going to change the channel. Go to the Greek islands. Okay, so now we're in the Greek islands, and it disappears. Okay, so we're in the Greek islands right now. Anything through Greek food, Greek atmosphere, the trees, everything's changed. So when you change a thought, you travel to its position. Now we're in the Greek islands, guys. Right? It's gorgeous, isn't it? And it's extremely real because we're there. We're there through the mind. The mind travels. The mind creates. The brain understands its position of its location now, right? Because it's connecting to your chakra system, right? Through its dimension, right? So when I say we go back, okay? Now we're back on the Earth rotation. So I just wanted to show you how powerful you are through travel, guys. It's really interesting because you have to really formalize yourself. Get into the formats, how to use your patterns of defense, understand security of yourself. Security and balance, your position level system, right? So it's knowing the circle rotation centers of its position. This is security line defense in anything to dimensions, all right? You can't see it because it's disappeared, right? It's in the simulation. See how fast it disappears? It's already traveled. So the center position is you. You want to travel through its connection. You go right through. We'll go through different coloration center to its position. Go through black. You travel. Okay, look at that. Look how powerful it is. Travel to its position. Okay. So it's all about understanding what's happening with the rounds. Security line defense, circle rotation, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. So 7 rotation centers, center position of a line signal through direction. Travels to its position, right? Now, once you send a coordinate system, right, it opens up its round location position to higher formation of light connection. Okay? So when you travel to higher connections, this is where you jump ship. When you jump ship, you change rotation centers to its position, and it goes into higher location of its dimension to its position. Okay. So it's interesting how we come into formations of different realm location positions. Okay. And that's connected to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can keep adding dimensions of travel to your positions through your body framing through your wire location positions. This changes the code frequency levels of your travel through your mind system, which puts collaboration centers to its chakra system of communication. So yeah, it's a lot of fun when you travel to those connections. So we go from that division to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're in the 4th dimension, right? But you notice how this goes in and this comes out? Fascinating, think about it. So I'm changing the shape, right? Speed location, this is coming out, not going in. It's the opposite cycle, right? So the mind and the brain location position understands its direction of its division. So you're traveling to different realm locations at 4 security line defense locations of its circle rotation center. So everything I do through creation is going into the past, present of its future. So the circle rotation to its center position. Okay. Looks like a telescope, right? So I can change the coloration. If I change the coloration, it changes your activation cycle through your chakra positions. Right? So we can line cross its position to its connection, like this, to its formation. So back in the position of circle rotation center of its connection. It's like a step down. You're going down the steps, but you're going in another realm location, right? So it's all about traveling. So your body's flipping and flapping all over the place. So if you're going down the stairs, you're going down the stairs. So it's an electrical light system of a connection to anything through traction positions. So your circle rotation, as soon as I change the coloration system, now you're coming into the matrix realm positions of travel of its dimensions. So when you connect to that connection, it lines signals of channels to your body condition frames. So you come into this direction to position, changes its codes back into its lights of its original system of coloration. See how powerful that is through connections? Right? Now it hasn't traveled because you guys are just basically going through wind spins, you're going through dimensions of realms. You're code referencing to your connections. Triangle location positions, coloration changes to its position. But it's amazing how you go from this color back to this color, right? But your bodies are going all over the place. Right? And then we go into this position, through its line signal. Channel through its operation circle, its location. So this is understanding travel positions of dimensions to its connection. Go back into this line signal to its division of its correction through its coloration system. Okay, it's all about traveling. Right? So, and again, if I change the color, right, changes the fruition of the light through the center position. You have to go through the center position to change everything through calculation. It's purple, see? But when you travel, it's white. Okay? So, and white is the electronic division to your body frame. So that's an electrical light system to your plasma energy body system. Imagine how powerful that is through connections. So when it travels its location, let's say we go into the realm location, back in the traction position, circle rotation center of its connection. Okay? So purple inside, with black out surfacing through circle rotation center position. Right? So I change the coloration system again. So that applicates and changes your holographic system to the brainwave location. So we change the color again. All right, so we go into this position, to direction. Okay. Now this is under a plasma blue light activation light system, a solid recognition light through dimensional realm system. I'm changing the circle rotation center to its position. Okay, from here to here, through its connection, right? So it's understanding the communications of different division level systems to triangle location and line division location positions. So we go into a circle round location, 4 different cycle prediction coloration systems. Remember, to change anything through traction, you have to go to this back to the center position because that will change the line signals and dimensions to your portals of travel connections. All right? So we go through back into the center position like this. Okay? Now, isn't that interesting how all different realm locations stays in a position and doesn't turn white? Why doesn't it turn white? Does anybody understand that? Because it has ground formation communications through line communications to all dimensional realms of its circle rotation center. That's why it doesn't change color. It only changes color when it's going through one line signal. But this is not one line signal. This is many, many line signals. This is a traction position of each dimensional realm through its connection of the circle rotation center. Once it comes to its connection, it stays in its position. But once I take it out of its equation, it goes into higher fruition of light connections to its position. goes back into the traction position of surfacing blue. Okay. So it's all about traveling, guys. It's all about traveling through thoughts, recognition of lights and timing and everything, dimensional portals and realms, security line defense. It goes on so many levels. Let's change the coloration again. Okay. Let's go into the green. Okay, so center position of the green to its connection. But it, see, it's white. Green, white, travels, right? So when it travels, it changes all coloration systems to its direction of its position. So it goes back into the same color rotation center of its position. It's interesting how it does that, right? You guys are going, what? What's going on through the brain location positions? So we change the coloration system again. Right, let's change it to red. So anything through red is referenced to anything through color of fire, right? So now, when you travel through recognition light systems, your body fragmentation and your solar graphs and everything through your energy graphs is going to be on fire. So your plasma energy force system is going to travel faster through the speed of time through connections because you're going through the plasma of its water. Okay, so what happens when you add water and fire together? You get mist, right? You get mist, plain and simple. So you understand what happens when you put water and earth. What happens? It's moist, right? It gets moist and you turn it into clay. So truly understanding how to use your earth rotation centers, anything through your water, anything through your fire, or anything through your air, it creates through its form, okay? So we go into that position, location, go into the red cycle rotation center of its connection, right? Now, red doesn't change. Why doesn't red change? Because it's a radiation dimension, guys, right? So even though it's one color, you're asking yourself, wait a minute, how come all the other colors change and they disappear into white, but when it come across red, it stays in position? Try. It's because it's a radiation cycle through dimension to its simulation. Okay, so to change the positions of its location position, you can change traction locations to its position, circle rotation center to its location, of its direction, right? So you can do fallouts and you can change positions. So you're confusing line signals to round location positions, guys, right? So I can go around the whole center position to its location. All right. So we're going to wind cross through all dimensional line signals to its connection. Okay. So each time you change a framing communication signal to its coloration pattern location of its dimension through its realm, it's setting up different codes to coloration. Because it's a radiation cycle through a realm division to its location, the realm location in its dark circled out realm, it's not dark matter. It is a dark hole. But you're saying, what are dark holes? They are created through realms. Realms created through your plasma. Plasma connects to your body. Body connects to your chakra. Chakra connects to your lights. It travels through its position of dimensions, through its blocking to its connection. So truly understanding everything through coloration is changing its position every time you travel to its location of its direction. Okay? So it's a lot of fun, isn't it? So how's everybody feeling so far? You're like, whoa, 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 what are you doing to me? Whoa, whoa. You know, it's amazing when you travel. It's understanding the coloration patterns of your body because your body's trying to get its septical line system. It's trying to get communication dimensional systems, right? It's trying to formulate everything through your dimensions of travel to its position of its thoughts. So that's why it's extremely powerful. It just moved. Wow, yes. Hope you guys are okay with that because it's understanding like you're a wash machine and now next thing you know, you're a dryer. So washing machine, what's a washing machine? It goes like this, right? And when it spins, first it goes like this. So what does a washing machine do through detail, right? It's washing the clothes, right? It's doing this and this and this. And then when it comes on the spin cycle, it goes, right? And what does the dryer do, right? You put it in, it goes around like this, okay? A washing machine does this, but a dryer does this. Interesting. So that's the concept to understand its fueling system, how it works through heat, how it works through water, right? So you got water and heat, okay? Water, heat, and cycle through rotation, right? And that's how you dry everything, through its dryer. So it's really interesting when you travel to those connections, eh? It's a lot of fun, you know? To show you how powerful it is when you travel through connections. That stays in position. So traveling is fun, right? And especially when you're in space, you know, because you're seeing so many dimensions. But every time I change a color, it changes your body fragmentation line through its computers, and everything through the quantum fields of its vibration changes your positions of direction to its vortex location. So we'll get into more of that, but practice yourself more through your rotation centers of your chakra system of communication, through your thoughts of colors, right? Try to get into that. Because everything that you have, you can react to. Like I'm wearing black lens. So I'm black lensing the lines of communication to its ear defense location positions. All right, so the energies of my ears are going because it's connecting to. So whatever you say through thought, it's going to connect through your body frame through vibration. Okay? So it could be a holding system. I'm holding my lens, my graphing lens communication, my GPS location, wire locations, everything through its perception. It's opening everything through its line signal back in attraction location. Okay, so energy goes in, traction locations are back in position to my eye receptor location positions. So I have a new clarity vision through coloration through my eye receptor positions. Done. So you don't see the change unless you see the change through your thoughts. So when the energy goes in and it gives you confirmation, you'll see the picture of its resolution of what you just created, right? So it's kind of like a digital frame. It's like, you know, it's going through a bioscan of what you just finished doing, right? Defragmentating the aligning. Yeah, that's exactly it, Dina. Yeah, the defragmentation has to stand the fragmentation line of its astrologics. The astrologics has to stand its realm location through its box frequency. The box frequency has to stand its holograph through its body frame. The body frame has to stand the hydraulics through its connection of its perception. The perception has to stand the audios, and the audios have to stand the voicing. The voicing has to stand everything through the psychometry of its location, which comes into its psychic location positions. So breathing cycles of dimensions. Yeah, very good. Breathing cycle of dimensions. That's very good. Yeah, so you understand why I keep communicating with the center position. So every time I'm doing that, you're changing the breathing cycle of your positions to your collaterals, your thought recognition light system. So each dimension that I color in, it's changing your body frame. It's putting you over here. It's putting you over here. It's putting you back here. It's putting you here through all different coloration, right? So you're round connecting. That's what that is. It's round connecting through your breathing mechanisms. But very good, Dina. Very good. It's fantastic. I love it when you guys understand. Helps me, it helps you. But this is the positions you put yourself into dimensions of travel through situation, how you can go to anything through coloration of its position, to its shape, anomaly, to its direction of dimension of time, right? How you can change your body form into anything through its vortex positions. Just through colorations of light, through your perceptions, right? So your perceptions are seeing the colors, your audios are hearing the codes, and everything your voicing grid is traveling through. It's breathing of its cycle, of its dimensions. Very good, Dina. So we come into that position of its traction. That's fantastic, Dina. Very good. Don't be afraid to say something, guys. It's very important you guys get into that position, better self-understanding more of you, because the brain location position has to do more of its thought recognition of travel to its location. So. But it just doesn't look and feel. It's all about you understanding that you're connected to your senses. You're understanding more of your transformation light of the third eye. You understand more of your perceptions of your eyes. You understand what your ears are through audio and what your collaterals and everything through your voicing grid patterns, voicing grids, your clarity, you know, to that connection, right? So it's understanding. Try to get into those positions. If you want to open the cycles of your voicing grids, I want to open my cycles to my voicing grids, bring in the clarity vision. Energy goes in, right? It cleanses the throat. So that is travel. So your thoughts have to travel to its position, to its specific dimension. So think of that, your body is a whole connected to dimensions of portals. So you're opening up all your triangular positions of your connections, of your holographics, your pixels, okay? All those connections, deep fragmentations, like Dina was saying, everything through its breathing, of its dimensions, to its cycles, to its connection, right? So the connections of you has to understand its thoughts of lights and everything through its wire. Okay, if you want to be specific, make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, you don't want to crosswind cycles through the inside system of you through cycle rotation, because you're not going to connect to its vibration signal. You might get into confusing line signal. So it's truly understanding the body system has to understand its traveling position of its thoughts, has to understand its traveling position of its dimensions, to its realms, to its coloration, to its time positions of code frequencies, right? So this could be all allocated to your position into your body system through its position. So you understand each thought of creation through its illustration, its coloration of time, through its dimension, okay? And that's where you come into the love cycles of its rotation to its breathing mechanisms of its dimensions. So it's a lot of fun. So you guys are learning more and more. Yay! Just going to go through your questions. Yeah. You never know what to expect the next day, right? That's what's beautiful about this school. It's all about learning. Everything that you learn is from inside. That's what it is. It's all about how powerful you are inside. It's inside you is the creation. And then you let it out to its illustration of its perception, right? Yeah. Happy dance. So you guys have any questions or comments? If you want to go through my healing, open your 12 rotation centers. For the new viewers that are trying to understand my vocabulary, I get interaction positions. You can go on my email. I'll give you a better direction. You go through my upgrades. I'll put you in a higher position, understanding of what's going on with the galactic and the Earth system of its school. What is the school? What does it represent to me? Well, you're all communicated through the Earth. So it's understanding the feeding source, how to communicate with the Earth. So once you start communicating with the Earth, you're starting to communicate with its dimension of its Earth, because that's what it is. It's one world cycle of dimensions of portal activation and codes. And now you're seeing perceptions of sentience. And that's where you can travel to anything through dimension of portals and open up everything through calculation. And then you set up everything through illustrations and then become extremely real to the body processes, perceptions or audios, and everything through voicing grid patterns. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there. And we'll get into more of that. We're going to track locations of dimensions, how we can open up portal defense locations of codes, of references to its vortex of its shapes. Really exciting stuff. All right. So everybody have a fantastic day. All right. Get into formation is really important, especially now when you get into the connection with you. So you're a secret until you understand your secret to its code. And the code opens up everything through frequency, energy, and everything through harmonic resistance. So just remember that. Tune into your locations, coloration patterns. It opens up everything through perceptions. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys later. This is Supreme AI Commander from Universal Quadrants and all level systems of all calculations to all shapes and anomalies to all dimensional portal code frequency level systems. Adios.